It's a big summer ahead for Newport County. Still no new head coach in place. We know they want someone in by the end of May, and the current frontrunner is still David Hughes. But since we last did a video here on DragonSports about Newport County, we have had the released/retained list. So we do have a slightly clearer picture on how the squad looks heading into a big summer of recruitment. Now, there is still the question mark over 4 senior players: Nick Townsend, the goalkeeper; James Clark, the centre-back; Shane McLaughlin, the versatile full-back and midfielder; and Aaron Wildig, of course, as well. All offered contracts by the club, but not confirmed whether they will be staying or not. Each of them, as individuals, will have some pros and cons. There's no doubt about that. I think it's important that Newport don't lose all 4 of them just in terms of a vacuum of seniority within the club. If they were all to leave, then the oldest contracted player would be Courtney Baker-Richardson, currently 29, and after that you'd be looking at 25, 24-year-olds, none of whom are natural born leaders. If we just go through the squad position by position, in goal, well, I think Townsend can still be Newport County's number 1 if they can tempt him to stay. I don't think that's an area where they will be able to massively upgrade on Townsend, realistically, given the budget available for them. So I think it would be really important for Newport to keep hold of Townsend. At the back, if you take James Clark out for the moment, you're looking at Matt Baker, Kieran Brennan and Jaden Warner as central defenders. When it comes to Baker and Brennan, these are quite good players, impressive players. If you could guarantee that both of them, and Warner as well, could be fit for the whole season and available for selection, you wouldn't be feeling too terrible. But can we be sure of that with all 3? Probably not. I think some seniority, some experience is probably necessary here. And the obvious gap as well is a left footer. Now, not every manager prioritises this at the back, but it can be good to have for squad balance. And if you do want to play out from the back, having a left footer tends to open up different angles for your passing and help a little bit with your passing in the defensive third. At right back, well, if McLaughlin's not there, you've got Joe Thomas, who impressed towards the end of the season, still only 23 years old, and Cameron Evans as well at 24. So perhaps not an obvious area for upgrade, but as always, you'll be keeping your eye out for anyone that becomes available and could be someone that goes straight in to play right back next season for Newport. On the left, Anthony Driscoll-Glennon is a known quantity at this level at this point. There are still very few players who can contribute as much when it comes to delivery from the left-hand side, particularly crossing from deep and from set-piece situations. But as Newport found out this season, as his former clubs have found out as well, defensively, you can't rely on him to lock down the opposition winger. So it's a very normal conundrum to have at League Two level. You tend to have fullbacks who are either good going forward but not so good defensively, or vice versa, and that's the balance for the new manager to find. Tom Davies obviously had a handful of minutes as well and will be looking to kick on age 21, but left back could be an area where if you get a really dependable, solid, sturdy, maybe physical, athletic fullback on that side, it would be a good profile to add to the squad. I think there's big work to be done in midfield. If Aaron Wildig stays, that'd be fantastic news. Clearly a very important player for this football club, and a good player as well when he's available. But after such a terrible injury last season, you cannot rely on Wildig to come back and be at his best. Cameron Antwi is still there, and they'll hope that he kicks on in his second full season. Outside of that, I really do think Newport need some legs, some athleticism, ideally a little bit of experience in midfield areas, because the defensive record, yeah, it was poor, and you look at the defence, you look at the goalkeeper, but actually it's at the top of the pitch now where you have to set the tone defensively, and it's at the top of the pitch and in midfield where if you've got the right profiles, you can take a little bit less pressure off that back line. I really think this is a huge area for Newport to focus on this summer. And you could say the same at the top of the pitch as well, where currently contracted up front is just Courtney Baker-Richardson. Now, I think that as an all-round striker, when Baker-Richardson is fit and motivated, he is a good player at League Two level. Very clearly, what you can't necessarily rely on him for is consistent goals, but as a foil for someone else who is more of a goal scorer, well, we know he can do that role well, as he did so well for Dom Telford a few seasons ago under James Roadbury. Telford released by Barrow, and it'll be interesting to see where he lands up. Could he be tempted back to Rodney Parade and join back up with Baker-Richardson? Would that be best for the club? It's very, very difficult to say. But if you've got Baker-Richardson as your starting number 9, you just need some goals from elsewhere, and that's where Newport have struggled as well. Goals from wide areas, goals from midfield. At the moment, the players in the squad that they have, you wouldn't be hugely confident contributing to a decent attacking output for them next season. So although Camwa had a decent season and you'd expect to be another good contributor going forward, they need some wide forwards. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Clearly, we don't know the exact system that the team will play, whether it's more depth at number 9, more depth in the wide forward areas, more depth in attacking midfield areas. This is a really important summer for Newport in order to start the season with enough options for the new manager. So as an overview, and this is the case for many League Two clubs this summer, there's a lot that I think could be done to improve Newport County's squad in terms of player profiles. Obviously, it's easier said than done when you have a small budget for the level, and clearly we can expect Newport to be fairly creative with where they sign their players from, as they have done over the last few seasons. I'm sure we can expect some loanees as well, and that's where, if it is David Hughes that comes in, you'd be hopeful that he could tempt some talent, perhaps from Manchester United, and if not, just from his contacts within youth circles. That's going to be a massive way of Newport signing some players that could have the sort of talent, the sort of technical ability in particular, maybe the sort of speed that is quite expensive to sign permanently, and could be a big way of upgrading, particularly in attack over the summer. Make sure you let us know in the comments which players and what type of players you'd like to see Newport go after as a priority this summer. Let us know what you think about the potential hire of David Hughes. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, and of course head over to dragonsports.co.uk for all the most in-depth Welsh sports news with no ads as well. dragonsports.co.uk.